Welcome, Sun and Fun volunteers and family. Welcome. We got a lot of really good stuff to cover today, and it's all positive. It's all so good that you're just going to walk away not even touching your feet on the ground. But before we get started, I want to see if where's he at? The guy that made it possible for even us to think about doing this, that got us here. Billy Henderson, where you at back there, buddy? Billy. Thank you, Billy. We all know it's not a one-man band, but somebody's got to be doing the directing, and Billy did a great job. So now let's, if you would please join me, and let's stand and recognize the country that gave us the opportunity to do this.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Y'all may be seated. Oh, no, I take that back. Stand up. Because I changed my mind. I'd like for you to sing with me this morning, okay? But let's just all do it together. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
And in exactly 54 days, we'll have a flyover to go with that. So now I'd like to ask our chaplain, Mark Rittemeyer, to bless our efforts.
Shall we pray? Heavenly Father, we're grateful that we can gather together once again to begin the greatest air show in the world. There may be some larger, but we're the greatest. And we thank you for that. We thank you that we can gather together. We thank you that you give us a tailwind and sunny skies. We pray for all that is said here today, that it will accomplish great things for Sun and Fun and for the public that will be here. We ask your blessing to rest upon us, and we'll thank you for it in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Okay. As you all well know, we lost one of the great teammates of Sun and Fun, Duffy Thompson, last September, and we're doing a recognition of his involvement at Sun and Fun by renaming the Back Acres Chairman's Campground to Camp Duffy. And the sign is up. If you haven't been out there, please go out and look at it. But today at 4 o'clock, we're going to recognize Camp Duffy and all the things that Duffy Thompson did to bring Sun and Fun to where we're at today. And that's at 4 o'clock for ribbon cutting with Joe Thompson and the family. And then at 5 o'clock, you're invited to come over to the museum. Hopefully you've RSVP'd because we've got just so much, but we're going to do a recognition of all of his great life accomplishments with a slideshow and anecdotal stories and lots of things that you may not have known about him, but we're going to share with you now. So come on over for that at 5 o'clock. Additionally, we got to say goodbye to one of our longtime 26-year veterans, Dave Piper, who on Thursday took his final flight west. Dave was instrumental in bringing up Paradise City from a small gathering of aircraft, and actually through the challenging years of going from the ultralights into light sport. And now it's a very vibrant area that's active and is a centerpiece for a lot of the folks that come to Sun and Fun. Dave departed, and he'll no longer be with us, so more to follow on that. But right now, Steve is going to take over as this year's chairman for that area, and you'll meet with him later. All right. Most importantly, nobody gets this done. I'm only a pawn here for the board to make sure I do it, all the right things and make it work for us. But the guys that really make the big decisions and determine where we're going and how we're going to get there would be the board of directors. And to lead that is my good friend, cohort, teammate, pal, and sometimes mentor that keeps me on track, Mr. Bob Knight, please, chairman of the board.
Well, the good news is we have a very active board, and the better news is that Lights and I we meet on a regular basis. We don't necessarily always agree, but you know what? You can't have a good organization if you can't have two sides. And I think that with our board activity right now and our interfacing with the staff and with Lights primarily, this place has really come a long ways in 3 years or 4 years since he's come on board. I'd like to take some credit for it, but but Lights has done a fantastic job. I think he deserves a recognition for what we've done for all these 3 or 4 years. I also, I think back, I haven't been around as long as a lot of you have, but I have been around here for 20 or so years, and it's just amazing to me that we're starting our 41st show. And I've been really excited this week with having the Breitling jet team over at my office, assembling all of these jets, and many of you have stopped by to see that. Unfortunately, they go so fast that I think right now all 9 jets have been assembled in 2 weeks' time. So that's unbelievable, the work they do over there. But I want to give thanks to all of our volunteers, and especially to our volunteer chairmen that show up every year to run the different areas of this organization. And I'd also like to recognize even though you don't see us around a lot, our board members, most of our board members, in fact, all I suspect that are here today are volunteers, just like all of us are. If our regular board members could stand and be recognized, I would appreciate it. These board members, most of them have been around like a lot of you volunteers for years and years, maybe some of us too many years. And of course, as the chairman of the board, I really have sentimental thoughts about the fact that Duffy is no longer here with us. Duffy's probably the guy I could blame for me missing a meeting and ending up being the chairman. There's a lesson about that. But Duffy gave me an awful lot of guidance, and he'll be really missed, and I'm glad we're going to recognize him later. I would, because everybody tends to want to pat themselves on the back, the board and our staff. We have a fantastic staff. I would like, though, for the chairman that volunteer for all of these different areas of our flying, I'd like for them to stand up, because these guys put in a lot of work. So the volunteer chairman and working in the areas, please stand up so we can see how many of you are. And it's unbelievable. It would be a total collapse if we didn't have that kind of support along with all of the other volunteers that come in. And so I just really appreciate that. Just to wrap it up, and what Lights had started back 3 years ago was the one thing that makes us stand out from Oshkosh, which is what everybody measures us by, is the fact that we still have that Southern hospitality and the signs that we used to have on our golf cart. And I don't know if you still do this, Lights, that says, what may we do for you, I believe is the way you put it. We really need to work on that. I mean, we do a great job, and that's what I hear all over the country is Oshkosh is great, but Sun and Fun's got that home feeling. And being big is great, but being better is everything. And so that's what we need to do. And hope we have a great fly-in. Let's all work hard and have fun. Thank you.
Okay, that's the leadership part of our organization that gives us all the direction that we make happen. And we know how y'all make it happen on a daily basis out there during the flying and preparation for it. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to bring up the people that work all year round to make sure what you need is what you get in a timely fashion to get your job done. Now, if I get the staff to come up, please. So as they're coming up here, come on, staff, don't be afraid. They're not going to shoot you. I promise. Well, they might throw spitballs at you, but. Our staff has grown a little bit, and for good reason. There's a lot of things happening, I'm sure. Pardon me. Those of you who have watched what's happened over the last couple of years, we continue to add more and more events, aviation related and some not so, but all of them focused on giving us the wherewithal to do what we love in aviation. Come on around. Come on, Dave. Okay, I'm going to run through these real fast so you know who they are. Some will come back up here in a little bit. Dave McCreary runs our aviation department. He manages all the airplanes, whether they're flying or not. Keeps our Beulah restoration facility looking sharp and ship shape. Bonnie Perkins handles all of our exhibits, and she's the watchdog to make sure we don't give anything away. All right, right? Been here forever. Jaron is one of our teammates that does all the groundskeeping for us, along Dave Fuller, IT. He makes sure our computers, everybody knows we do have Wi-Fi out here now, and it's another component of Sun and Fun that we sell to our customers so they have Wi-Fi access, and it is a revenue generator for us. That was his work. Debbie Hobbs is part of the events team. She'll be working all of our food vendors this year for the fly-in and making sure that the right food vendors in the right place don't overstep their bounds. John Iskra is working our school programs. He'll be one driving all the kids into our campus throughout the week, as well as getting out and talking year-round. He's out there talking to the community. He actually goes to schools on behalf of Sun and Fun and convinces them to come to our Aerospace Center for Excellence for their educational purposes, which is great. And then we got Annette. Annette is in there in our finance department. She makes sure that the bills are sent out, accounts receivable. And then we've got Tracy, who's our CFO. She'll be managing all of our money again, as always. Rob, if you don't know Rob Williams, he's the executive director for our Aerospace Center for Excellence. Rob is over all those 7 buildings in the 727. Everybody see the 727 out there? Yeah, how cool is that? It's getting ready to be painted as a Piedmont 727-200 as a gift from the Piedmont Foundation. But Rob is going to be setting up all of our education programs in the Aerospace Center, the Aerospace Discovery Center. Next to him, he's not really a staff member, but he is. Mike Z is now the director for the Lakeland Aero Club, and he manages all the students in the Lakeland Aero Club to ensure that, A, they're focused on getting into aviation, working on airplanes, and ultimately are going to have their own clubhouse right here on our campus. After this year, a clubhouse and a hangar for all the airplanes they're building will be built on the facility at the end of Paradise City and over by the registration building. So this is a real big plus for our Lakeland Aero Club students. And right next to him is Mark DeKorksky. Mark is a master pilot. He now is a contractor to Sun and Fun, and he manages our scholarship programs. And I'll get to that in a little bit when I show you how many students we put into the sky because of our scholarship programs. But he oversees all the scholarships, the money and who gets it, and make sure they stay in the program. Who can live without a graphic artist? The newest mom, Melissa. Melissa is our graphics artist and the mother of a beautiful young boy, Grayson. Hey.
The newest member of our family.
Yeah, the newest member of our family. Her artwork is renowned, and if you haven't noticed, we're in more publications now than we've ever been in. Next to her is the master of disaster, the chairman of the fly-in. That would be Laura Vaughn. Don't get in her way, all right? She can't help you, but she's got a small Louisville Slugger. She can't hurt you. So as long as it's her way, you'll be just fine. The reason we're in all those publications, Sandy Bridges is our PR media lady. She's the one that ensures that all of our all the publications out there, TV, even the newspaper articles, I don't know if you've noticed, but we're more often in the newspaper now than we've ever been. And guess what? It's all positive. Inside Polk, Polk Living, all those magazines are starting to carry stories about Sun and Fun and what our youth activities are doing for the community. Right next to them is he's been here a year, but Greg Gibson has moved from a contractor to the director of operations for Sun and Fun. So now he is literally the overseer for the entire event, and as well throughout the year in managing all of our programs to help me so I can go out and outreach out into the community and get more support for our programs. So you'll hear more from him momentarily, a great addition. He lives in Tampa. We're trying to convince him to move to Lakeland, so let's get to work on it. If you got a house for rent, he's tired of an hour drive each day. Then you got Don Huey. Everybody knows Don. He's your best buddy when it comes to fixing up your facility. Where's Donna France? Donna, I saw you back there a minute ago. He loves you, Donna. Really, don't think otherwise. We're going to get you that trailer in 2018. No problem. Okay. Another new addition that came on in June of last year, Tiffany Taylor. She's in charge of all of our events. So she'll be doing all the external events this year. So anybody that wants to come onto our campus and for the fly-in, I mean, year-round she does it, but year at the event, she'll be managing all those folks that want to put their friends and families up in chalets, have dinners throughout the campus area, and creating revenue for us and making them happy to come to Sun and Fun. So if you have a club event that you want to have somewhere on one of our buildings, let her know because she'll help facilitate that. Next to her is obviously accounts payable. She's the one that writes the checks. Yeah, that would be Katie. Katie's left, came back, and now she's not only, there's an interesting part about Katie. Not only is she accounts payable, but she always brings me the electric bill. And for a while, I just sort of signed off on those, and I was like, wait a minute. She breaks them up in smaller checks, like 16, 17, 8,000, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's all this money going? So I made her start going back and looking at all the meter readings and where was the electricity going. And I can tell you, because of her efforts, we have dropped between 12 and 15% in our electric bill. That's pretty impressive. That's big dollars, folks. Big dollars. Well done. Everybody, they always say, well, you need to go through a couple of wives to get it right. And I'm not really a big believer in that. Honest, honey, really, no. But I've got a wife that manages my social life, and I have a work wife, and that would be Christine. She's the one to make sure my schedule's tight, on track, and also for the fly-in, she's going to manage all of our internal events. So when we have a Sun and Fun event internal to our program, then she's the one that's putting it together, getting the right food vendor in there, getting the entertainment, tables, chairs, and all that. And it's a lot of work because we have a lot of events to support all of our guests. So her efforts are, even though she's trying to manage me, which is sometimes a Herculean, unaccomplishable problem, she still does a pretty good job of getting everything put together for our fly-in events. Everybody knows Robin. Robin is the hymn mother for all the volunteers, which is a great thing. And while Robin's here, I'd just like to see if I could, the number of early birds that we have here. Would the early birds stand up? Early birds, anybody back there, early birds? I got a few, I know I do. Thank you all very much. God love you. The early birds come from Alaska, Canada, New York, Maine, Vermont, Ohio, Illinois. They come down here starting in November and stay all the way through to the very end of a week after the show. And for that, we're eternally grateful. We could not do what we do to get ready without their help and assistance. The campus wouldn't look anywhere as good as it should without their work. And then, most importantly, we refer to her as the face of Sun and Fun, Lori Fuller. Lori, yes, Lori. Woo! Lori's the one that greets everybody at our corporate headquarters over here, and her job is to make you feel good that you walked in the door, and you do, don't you, Lori? And did everybody just real quickly say, happy birthday, Lori. Happy birthday, Lori. Okay, thank y'all very much. You'll see them more often. You know who to get to, so thank y'all. And now I'll recognize a few of our special guests. Do our special guests come up here?
Well, as soon as I get where I can click it.
Oh, special guests.
Bring
And
that back to me.
though she will not be speaking, where's Nan? Grandma to be, oh, she's waiting for a phone call to get past 8 centimeters. She's got a grandbaby on the way. Brett Fay? Brett's not here. All right. Adam is, though. Adam want to be up here momentarily. Operations supervisor. Karen O'Farrell. Yee! Our FAA brothers and sisters. Makes a difference. Boyd Martin, did Boyd make it? No. All right. But I see somebody that's not on. Bob Jex from FISDO. Raise your hand, Bob. He's a longtime friend of mine. We cruised together back on the day. He was an EA6B guy, and he turned the lights off for all those guys that tried to shoot us. So, and now he's protecting us from the folks in the FAA that, well, maybe don't want to help us as much as we want to be helped. And he's an inside trader, friend of Sun and Fun. You need help. He or Diane Fromm is his boss, I think, correct? Yep, those are two friends of ours that are going to help us keep this building on our campus with FAA involvement for years to come. Right now, that's in jeopardy, but they are working diligently to make that happen with us. And then Keith Smith. Is Keith here? Did Keith make it in? The assistant. There's Keith Smith right there. Keith is the assistant principal, but the principal for the Lakeland, or the Central Florida Aerospace Academy. Good job. All right. Everybody knows the mission. Preserve and enhance the future of flight through world-class events, inspiring and educating people of all ages. We live and breathe that every day. That's why those of us that come in every day come in. You help us get there. It's your efforts that help us accomplish that mission. We are bringing people together, and that's, Billy said it best. Aviation, airplanes bring us together, people keep us together. And that's our business. Bring them together, keep them together, focus on aviation, and build that community back. And we're in the process of doing that. What's our number one priority? You'll say safe. I say do it right every time, and you will be safe. Every time we do it right, we win. Wins, I hate to say this, but I am not one of those superstitious kind of guys. It's all based on fact. Your and all of your team's professional performance over the last 3 years has kept Sun and Fun safe. Unbelievable. 3 years. We're doing awesome, but it's just a beginning. We are on the way to years and years and years of incident-free Sun and Funs. So let's keep it up. And I talked to the early birds about this some time ago, but I'll repeat it here for those of you may not know. Each and every one of you and all of your volunteers have in your pocket a red flag. If you see anything that's occurring that in your mind is presenting a hazard to either an airplane, a car, a person, whatever it is that's going to cause an incident, you can stop it right there on the spot. Ask what's going on, determine everybody knows what they're doing, and then continue. I'm sure you'll use that judiciously, but each and every one of us has the obligation to ensure that whatever evolution we're watching is going properly, professionally, and following the procedure that was written to do it. Now, we may not have all the right answers, but we got good common sense. That's you and each and one of your team members. So don't ever think that you have to stand there and watch something stupid happen and then come up and go, well, I knew they were going to run into that airplane. Well, what did you do about it? You're the answer. You're the solution. Don't let it happen. Keep up the great work. We've been successful. Let's stay on that track. That's all of us. I just covered that. Bob said it. We get so many comments about the unbelievable hospitality at Sun and Fun every year. It goes without saying that none of us individually do it, but collectively, you have all embraced the philosophy of how may I help you? Be nice and be friendly. You do it every day out here. So I ask, continue that same philosophy. It is spreading like wildfire. People are recognizing it. Our crowds are increasing. People like to come to Sun and Fun because we treat them right. That's the whole thing. Treat them right, be fair, and they'll leave happy. Do your best with less, and you've done that. And let me show you what that's going to mean for us here. Friendliness, being helpful, know the event, answer questions, always be courteous, and at the end of the day, when that irate customer, and that could be a vendor, it could be an airplane owner, it could be just somebody walking by that's all angry for Lord knows what, when you say, well, What can we do to make that better for you? When you do that, it changes them. When they walk out that gate, I want every single human being that comes on to our event to walk away, including yourselves and your team, to go, that was worth the effort. I enjoyed myself. They were nice. It may not have been perfect, but everybody tried to make it perfect. If we do that, every year gets better and better and better, and we all win from that. And that image is changing in the public's mind. I can tell you from the emails that I get. This is what you've done. Read that and let it sink in. Think about that. No tractors, no truck loans, no business loans. We paid it off, folks. You paid it off. When you guys did the best you could and had the best Sun and Fun financial year we've ever had in 2014, and all the year-round events that we're doing, and the things like Katie's doing with cutting our costs and managing where the money goes, at the end, when this is all over with, we have created a financially stable Sun and Fun that can do more for more people and make a bigger impact. And what is that impact? What is that impact? Here's what it is right there, right now. 55 young men and women have soloed an airplane. Of those, 27 are now private pilots. We've got 38 more that are in training as we speak, and that will grow every year. That's just the beginning. That's only been in the last 2 years that we've been able to do this. More will come from this. Yesterday, one of the board members and myself had a breakfast with the president of the AOPA Foundation. All right, they are down here trying to see what are you guys doing that's so impressive. We've heard about it. We wanted to come see for ourselves. This is the president of the foundation, and they were here purposely to see our high school, our Sun and Fun campus, and our programs to put young men and women into cockpits and give them a chance for a future in aviation. They walked away awestruck. They didn't know what to say. They literally said they've seen them all over the United States. They've seen different kind of constructs of aviation schools. They've never seen anything like what we have here. You are to be commended because this is what you've produced. And we'll continue to do this for as many years as you'll help us get there. Well done. Okay. I want you guys to meet Greg Gibson, Director of Operations, the man that's going to make this happen this year. So when everything goes good, you come tell me. You got a problem. Here's the man, Greg Gibson.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the things I've gone back to lights with a couple of times. If you like what's going on and everything's going well, my name is Greg Gibson. If it's not going well and you don't like it, my name is John Leanhouse. So let's not make any mistakes on that. Welcome, everyone. I want to just say thank you certainly to all the volunteers. You guys, I tell you, we understand as a staff that we are here to serve you. We are here to make certain that our efforts are in support of your needs and certainly not the other way around. All of you are to be commended for your service, all of the things that you do to make this thing happen. It is a near and dear event to all of our hearts. And just know that you've got our support. And from an operational standpoint, we want to make certain that you're getting what you need at the time you need it. New guy, I'm going to make some mistakes. So I just want to tell you all right here in this forum that the intention that I have is to take all of the expertise out there, try to learn from you as much as I can, let the experts that are there give the information here, and I'll try to make sure I get what you need to you in the time that you need it. We've got a few things to go through here, nothing dramatic. You guys know we're going to have an air show, so we'll start with how that's going to work and the different days that we're going to have that. Tuesday, we're doing things a little bit differently this year in the way we're handling the air show. We're trying to combine and leverage the asset of the air show rather than it just being the fantastic spectacle that it's always been. We want to try to tee that up in such a way that one attracts more pilots back to Sun and Fun. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are critical days for us because having that pilot attendance is really what we're all about. We want to make certain that those people know that there's something here for them. So we tried to craft the air show and some of the entertainment and are also doing our advertising, our marketing, our media, everything that we do in order to give those people a reason to come in and not only be here for the day of the event that they want to see most, but to stay multiple days and get involved with things so that they feel like they've been engaged with items that are really important to them. We know we're going to knock it out of the park with 2 jet teams on the weekend. The people are going to drive in to see that. So what we've tried to do this year is focus on the first 3 days of the fly-in to populate that with more of the fly-in traffic. So to that effect, Tuesday will be World Aerobatics Day. And Duffy Thompson Day will celebrate the life of Duffy Thompson with several events throughout that day. Sandy will elaborate on a couple of those things when she gets up here. World Aerobatics will take place after we open the air show, which we hope, we're still working the logistics, but we hope to open the air show itself with the Breitling jet team. So having some notoriety of a jet team in their first display in the United States or in North America, and on the first day of Sun and Fun, with their very first appearance, seems to make a lot of sense. So we're hoping we can draw a lot of people out that want to just be here for the very first time that really significant event takes place. So that's what the reasoning is for that. On Wednesday, that'll be a salute to Warbirds. We have dedicated that day to Warbirds. You're going to see Warbird aircraft all throughout the air show. I'll talk about the schedule here in a minute for the waiver, but you'll see a Warbird showcase on both Tuesday and Wednesday. And then the air show will feature fantastic acts. We have this year the Texas Flying Legends making their first appearance at Sun and Fun. Those of you that are familiar with that organization know that that is a very unique group of aircraft. There'll be a B-25 Mitchell. It's all choreographed. It's escorted in by a P-51, a Japanese Zero, a real one, one of the three flying in the world will come in. Warren Peach flies that aircraft. Will come in, knock away the P-51. Then he's going to get set upon by an F-6F Hellcat. Bombs are going off, strafing runs are happening. We're going to have a P-40 Warhawk come in and try to fight him off, joined by an F-4U Corsair, who then comes in, smokes him, and he goes down over the hill. So it's quite a display that we've never seen here before, and we're very excited to have those guys here, along with some local favorites. We've got Lee Lauterbach will be performing in Crazy Horse. Several other things that will really hopefully tantalize the taste buds of the Warbird fanatics that we've got out there, and I know there are many. Moving straight into Wednesday evening, there'll be a night air show. We'll cover that in a moment. Thursday, we're doing Formations and a Brighter Futures Day, obviously focusing on our education for the campus-wide activities. During Thursday's air show, it'll specialize in formations. Now, obviously, the Aeroshell team or Warbirds, don't be afraid. They'll be here on Tuesday or on Wednesday as well. They'll be involved in Thursday's activities, along with acts like the Aerostars. We have another couple of formation acts that we have not seen before that should be very entertaining. So the air show will be made up of formations. There will be a drive-by by the Breitling jet team that day. And just due to expenses and other things, they're not going to actually perform. But the Thunderbirds, as you well know, will also arrive on that day, giving us another element of the formation day. So we're hoping, again, that will draw out the people that are enthused by formation aerobatics. Friday is going to be Women in Aviation Day. The air show will track back to more of a collage, more of the traditional type of mix for air show performances, but we will be celebrating women's involvement in the aviation industry, not just pilots, but any aviation activities. We've helped women in aviation. We've worked with Peggy Chabrain and her staff. Tiffany's really involved in that. They will be hosting, rather than their breakfast on Saturday morning, they're now going to be having a luncheon that we're expanding in order to visibly showcase Sun and Fun's interest and support for getting more women involved in aviation. So we're partnering with that very visible and highly effective organization in order to partner and give a higher presence to them, along with just the idea that we really need more ladies involved in this. And that'll be Friday. Saturday, 70th anniversary of victory in Europe. We're also celebrating during that time. We have the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. You'll see some events that are taking place around that. Also, Salute to Veterans Day, obviously coordinating with that special event. Air show, once again, will be more of a collage. Night air show that evening. Sunday, Florida Resident Day. Again, air show collage, and we're doing our specials to make sure we get as many of our locals to come out and see that as possible. All right, air show hours. Now, we've done things a little bit differently this year. Those of you that are familiar with the waiver times, and this is the time when we close the airfield and it's turned over to the air boss. Our air boss this year will continue to be Wayne Boggs, supported by George Klein and Ralph Royce. And those of you who know this industry know that that's pretty much the trifecta. There aren't really many that are better than those guys. There's certainly a lot of very good air bosses out there, but we're very fortunate to have three of the most prolific and well-known. Ralph, of course, is the chairman of the board for ICAS. So we got quite a group there that'll be helping manage this. And we standardized the show times, Nan. You're welcome. The waiver is going to open at 2 and close at 5:30 daily for the day air show. On Wednesday night, it will be 8 to 9. And then on Saturday night, we'll also have that air show with fireworks from 8 to 9:30. The waivered closure times and the actual what we're going to call the air show are going to take a little definition on Tuesday and Wednesday. So the way this is going to work we're going to work the Warbird Showcase. We're just going to have exclusively warbirds flying by between 2 and 3 p.m. on Tuesday and Wednesday. So lots of things for you to see there. All the a lot of the formation drive-bys. No aerobatics per se, but we're going to see a lot of warbirds in the air. Yes, sir. It will be announced, Dave. We're going to get people to, we're going to work with the announcer so that what this feels like is an added value presentation of the warbirds, separate from what people perceive as the actual air show, which of course starts with the flag drop. So you'll see an hour's worth of flying with these guys, then the flag drop, and then the rest of the air show will take place from there. Reason being, we want to make sure that the exhibitors are having plenty of time to interact with the pilots and other people that are here to buy their products, the things they paid to do, before we shut down, their business by drawing everybody out to the field. So there's a lot of people that will go watch the warbirds because they're very popular, but at the same time, we want to make sure we get them in the air. But we try to create a definition of that so people can conduct business a little more effectively, while at the same time being absolutely entertained and kept captive by top-notch entertainment. So again, Tuesday and Wednesday is how that will proceed. We'll have a flag drop that will kind of mark the official opening of the air show, and that will run to 5:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday night air show, 8 to 9 p.m. It's a smaller event, not designed to be quite as big, but just really something to keep our audience entertained on Wednesday evening. Thursday, the arrival of the Thunderbirds creates some fun for us. So what we'll be doing there is the waiver again starts at 2 o'clock, which we will have an arrival by the Thunderbirds at that time. Then we will do the flag drop. There will be some activities done there. They'll knock it off. The Thunderbirds will take the field again and they'll do their georeferencing maneuvers for about an hour. So the audience that knows what that is will appreciate it. Those that don't know what it is think it's an air show. So it'll work out pretty good. We don't mind letting people think they're being entertained by something. It's one of the necessary things that in any other air show where someone shows up or you're having a weekend event, say at NAS Jacksonville or Punta Gorda or someplace like that, they would show up, do their thing on Thursday, nobody's there. So they don't change their operations. Even though we have a week-long event, we still have to waiver the airspace and give them access to it. So in case you ever wondered why that was going on, that's what's happening. So once they finish that, we'll take up with the rest of the air show again. Again, this is Formation Day, so there'll be it fits nicely in with the theme of what's going on there. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the actual flag drop will be at 2 o'clock, and the air show will run through 5:30. Again, more of a collage, more of the traditional mix of entertainment that you're used to seeing. We do have the jet-powered Waco this year. John Klatt and Jeff Borboon that flies that for him. That's the first time we will see that here. Very exciting to have those guys on deck. Breitling will be flying along with the Thunderbirds for Friday and Saturday, and then the Thunderbirds will be the only jet team on Sunday. So again, we have 2 jet teams. We're expecting large crowds as long as the weather holds. We'll have probably a very similar set of circumstances to what we had last year with the Blue Angels and, of course, the sequester ending. We're hoping that between just the notoriety of that happening, the success of last year's event, and the additional media that we're getting from this, the media is really turning out now and starting to ask questions and get interested with the idea that we've got this other jet team coming into town. So we're anticipating big crowds. Plan your areas accordingly. We don't know. We don't have a real good grip on what sort of increase to predict. But if you go off of last year, that's probably not a bad way to address what to expect for this year, and maybe even a little more, again, if the weather holds. So let's get ready for a big crowd. Saturday night, the air show, fireworks between 8 and 9:30, or air show from 8 to about 8 or 8 to about 9:15. The fireworks will be 20, 25 minutes. It won't be quite as long as they might have been in the past. We're trying to work on our budget a little bit, but I think you're still going to get a great display. Lots of stuff blowing up for a good part of the week, so I think you'll be entertained by that. Any questions, any other than Dave's questions on the air show? Anything I can answer for that right now? All right, good. Moving on. Okay. Any questions on the air show or anything I can answer for you? Hell, Dave, I don't know. I'm just going with this. Operations, You might want to tell me what I said? I have no idea. Anyway. mostly about trying to make sure that the air show and everything is contained, keeping everybody aware of the anticipated extra volume that we need to be ready for. Hopefully they will be all polite customers, but in some cases they may not. So let's be ready for them. Ride hoppers, every year we have a good assortment. This year's no different. Our EAA Ford Tri-Motor will be back again. They'll be ride hopping. We'll talk about where they're going to stage from on the ramp here in just a moment. The Commemorative Air Force's B-24 Diamond Lil will be here. That's a really excellent addition to what we have had in the past. That is, of course, with the unbroken film success of the past year, and the celebration of that achievement is something that we hope to capitalize on, and we're very glad to have them here. EAA also with the B-17. So we've got some really nice heavies that are going to be out there giving rides. Lots of good eye candy, and of course opportunities for spectators to actually experience that. Army Aviation Heritage Foundation, their helicopters will be back. They've got their 2 helos, a Huey and a Cobra. We also have a Bell 47 this year, which is kind of unique. Steve Oliver will be back with his new standard operating that as well. So those are your ride hoppers for 2015. All right, we're going to flip over to a map here in a minute to discuss a couple of these things. We do have several interesting items to go over with you here. The Warbird ramp, those of you who have heard about it, you know that we've basically taken, due to the generosity of the airport and them working with us so well, we've taken that area, they have taken it and reduced it to rubble, 7 acres worth, and now I've expanded it to now 11 acres. Is that correct, man? Okay. Went from 5 to 7, or 5 to 7? 5 to 7 acres. So, I mean, this is a tremendous benefit to us, geometrically squaring it off, giving us more ramp space to activate from. Lots of good stuff for year-round opportunities that we're going to have now in order to bring other aircraft in here as our facility rentals and continue to increase. Having the opportunity to ramp aircraft nearby in order to populate those events is a very special opportunity that we have. And I want to thank the airport for that right now. It's a really just a fantastic deal. The ride hopper operating areas will be not really affected by that, but we'll go into that in just a minute. All right, everyone, anyone armed in this room right now, I need to know, because I just need to know where to look. Okay. We have some vehicular traffic discussions to have on Doolittle. The intention at this time is to try to make it as safe as possible. There are many very valid opinions on how this could work. Trying to keep people safe, trying to keep, that's the paramount issue, trying to keep ourselves, out of the news with any sort of negative impact that would come from an accident is the goal. There is no easy solution to this thing. It is a hornet's nest of contention with valid points on both sides of the issue that everyone needs to understand that they're going to be heard and that people are going to be recognized for the value of their experience on this topic. That said, the leaning at this point is to run vehicular traffic along Doolittle only, eliminating vehicular traffic on taxiways B and E, still allowing golf cart traffic. Naturally, there will have to be exceptions to that, but the idea is to reduce the amount of vehicles that could have an incursion with an aircraft. So again, lots of discussion still to be had. Our air operations meeting after this one will probably be quite lively. And I'm sure we'll come to a resolution because I know everybody here's got the same goal. Performer parking, again, I'll flip over to the map and show you what all that is, and then the air show performer hangar, which is a little different topic. Should have brought a pointer. Light, you got your pointer? All right, that kind of works. All right, the new Warbird ramp, obviously 927 here, crowd line right along this line right here. The new Warbird ramp geometrically mostly takes up what you see there. I mean, there's a little bit of variation in the actuality of it, but effectively what's happened is that the ramp now has absorbed the 2 entryways that have traditionally been into the Warbird ramp, and also absorbed taxiway Foxtrot all the way up to the western edge of its paved area, south to just below where that other entrance was down here. So this swale is still in place, this drainage is still in place, but effectively what you're looking at here is a much larger pad of asphalt, And I'm told that this actually exceeds the size of Airshell Square at Oshkosh. So we have gained ourselves a little bit of notoriety. Not that we compete with those fine folks, but maybe size matters just a little bit here. We'll see. But don't mind telling them that. We'll see. Talking about where we're going to be stationing the ride hoppers, the discussion right now, we're still in final preparations, is for the tri-motor to operate from where it pretty much did last year, right here out of the entryway of Foxtrot, just on the other side of the crowd line. The heavies that we're looking at doing, we've discussed, and we'll finish this discussion, but the B-24 and the B-17, we'd like to see operate over off of the southeast corner of the new Warbird ramp, and of course utilizing Bravo to get back and forth without having any more incursions with pedestrians than necessary. The other ride hoppers will be as traditional. The helicopters and the new Standard will be operating from where they have been on the grass strip. So that's new. Performer parking. Again, this kind of tracks back to what we're trying to do with the air show, make it a little bit more entertaining, make it a little more value for the people that are coming in here, try to get Miss Ann's preferred seating populated a little bit better. Aeroshell team, Geico, the heavier aircraft that have always operated from this area, the hot ramp as we call it, will still operate from this area, but the lighter aircraft, Matt Chapman, Mike Goulian, Patty Wagstaff, the group in their flip-flops, will be coming into this keyhole right here and be right in front of preferred seating. So we'll have that separation that hopefully will reduce some traffic congestion, also give those spectators something a little more interesting to see because that pit area will be in front of them and they'll be able to engage with that a little more. Again, the heavier stuff will be over here, but hopefully what we'll intend to do here, and we're working with ground on this, move those aircraft a little bit farther out so that prop blast isn't blowing down some of the tents. So having a little bit more of hopefully a predictive measure to keep that from being as interruptive as it could be. That will all happen during the air show. At the end of the air show, I've already spoken with a number of the performers. That's also in my bag of tricks, is to come up with the air show population. So the performers that will be in those smaller aircraft, we're going to create in this box right here an autograph corral. So these guys will remain after the air show. The intent is to open up the gate right next to Home Built Registration Building there and allow people after the waiver closes to walk through and be in this area with performers there to sign autographs. So our intention is twofold. One, it gives us another thing we can sell to sponsors and let them know that of course the people they already sponsor in the air show, personnel are being recognized. Announcer, of course, keyed into all of this. But hopefully we can get a couple thousand people to take advantage of that after the air show each day, and that keeps them from all mass in the parking lot at exactly the same time. Hopefully that will mitigate that crowd somewhat. It's an experiment. We hope it works. It's kind of one of those no harm, no foul things. If they go in there, we hope they do. We're going to be driving them to that. We've got several sponsors interested in activating in that, so it may be a revenue generator for us. Lots of interesting concepts that we'll see how all that works out, and then we'll take that experience and move forward with it as we go on. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss any notes. All right, any questions about those items so far? Warbird ramp, the activation of that sort of thing. Yes, ma'am, in the back. Yeah, they're amazing, aren't they? That's just an interesting social dynamic. I'm going to make a note here on that and see what we can do. Hopefully, with the relocation, instead, last year, for those of you who remember, we had the B-17 operating from the south end of runway 5 down here. So rather than having this additional stretch to operate, that was one of the reasons that we wanted to move it, was that exact problem. As far as marshaling goes, let me get into that and I'll find out. I can't imagine, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. somebody with a gun always tends to have someone, and we could also, just have the people with the 50 cal sitting there and, a little shock and awe. We can do that. It's a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Anyone else? Okay. Moving right along. Event updates. Veterans Plaza, as you know, we moved into the Southeast Exhibit area last year. This year, that will obviously remain, and we're also, the military reenactors will also co-locate near the Veterans Plaza, a very natural placement for those guys. We're going to continue. Last year, made the statement, would like to very much reiterate it this year, no golf carts or vehicles between Shower House A and the Seaplane Pilots Association. It's very congested there, folks. You know how that can work out. We want to be sure that no one has a bad day because of a golf cart problem in that area. We know that little throat right there has a lot of congestion. And Laura's point, there are paid exhibitor spaces there as well. So if you're driving through it, chances are you're driving through somebody's exhibit, and they tend to come back to Bonnie on that, which nobody wants to do. Sorry, Bonnie. Where's Bonnie? I'm picking on you. Okay. All right. Part and parcel. With respect to all of our smoking volunteers and guests, we want to make sure that everyone's directed to the designated smoking areas. Convenience and safety, folks, that's really what this is all about. There will be, these designations. We're talking about on the Warbird ramp actually making a more defined designation out there for safety purposes. It's difficult to ask people to not smoke near the aircraft when you don't give them somewhere to go. So we're talking about, again, the idea was just tabled yesterday, about having folks go down in an actual cordoned area near the food services for that ramp, which will still remain right here. So likely that's where that's going to be for those of you working in that area. Golf cart paths, we are working hard. Don's working very diligently to widen those to accommodate two-way traffic. That ought to be interesting. Don't run over the fences. One of the biggest problems we have with these things is people taking out the path, or at least the guidance for the path that we're asked to stay on. So keep it slow, maintain the speed limits that are on that thing. I know everybody's in a hurry to get where they're going. We got to make sure that we keep it safe. So by all means, again, having the two-way traffic will help out a lot. Let's try to keep the speed down on it. And I know they're not going, real fast to begin with, but they're fast enough to hurt somebody. So let's try to keep those to a minimum. Lights, is there anything on the ramp up here that we need to, anything in this area that we talked about? Yes. I heard it. Yes, sir. Is there any chance of getting several larger carts? That has been discussed, and the availability of 6-place golf carts is something that Laura has been working on. Which area are you in, sir? I know, but for which area? We got a couple that are going back and forth. Okay, so you're bringing families out. I didn't cover the proposal that I kind of dodged there a minute ago, but the Doolittle issue, rather than vehicular traffic coming from the east gate here and traveling up across Bravo and Echo into Bravo in this area is the contention point. The proposal is to have everything routed down the new Doolittle through Paradise City, with the obvious issues of pedestrian traffic now being impacted by the vehicles, those people going too fast, all the horror stories that everybody's had to deal with down there too. There's no easy solution to this. We're going to try to work through it as best we can and come to a final resolution. But this is the proposed route, and there's several solutions that are being discussed, but wanted to just point that out to you. Lights, it seemed like there was something else on the
active and the non-active part of the Warbird ramp. The west half is for the non-active aircraft that are not going to fly that day.
Right, okay.
The east side is active, so we don't keep people off the ramp.
All right. Easier to manage. Back in the past, we've had, when, for example, if you had the T-28s are going to fly, or we had anything else going on, this whole ramp had to be evacuated in order to get that done. You guys know what a nightmare it is moving people. So rather than try to go through that, we're going to try to discipline this a little bit better to where the west half of the ramp is more for the static displays. The right half will be, or the eastern half will be a more for the actual aircraft that are going to be flying. So hopefully that will make your job easier when it comes time to cordon that off and evacuate the area. And I know what you guys go through, and I think the RAF cadets or the British cadets are the ones that marshal that as well. So that'll be something that should give them a hand as we move forward on that. I'm forgetting some lights. All right, moving over into business development, which I still also manage. For sponsorship, we're very pleased to have the return of Visit Florida. Those of you, I'm sure, are aware of our little financial responsibility to our friends at the FAA, and we want to try to keep that mitigated. So if you see Visit Florida personnel, thank them profusely. They will be back helping us support that expense again. Experience Kissimmee is returning this year. Their partnership was very much appreciated last year. They enjoyed it and are now looking at expanding their presence here with us, which gives us some access to our neighbors to the east. There, one mouse in particular that seems to draw a crowd. We can try to help leverage our activities with them so that people have a reason to stay in Florida a little longer and hopefully at our event a little bit longer. Bose Plaza is returning. We've got good buy-in from Bose. They were very pleased last year with that, and that was the first of our area naming project that has gone quite well. We're working with several other things to try to get the rest of the campus branded in that way, similar to the way you see football stadiums and convention centers and whatnot being sponsored. We'd like to have our areas sponsored as well. This year, our camping we're finalizing the contract with Lazy Days, so the campers that we'll use for the various areas for operations will be supported by Lazy Days. That's looking like a very good partnership. They have not only the units themselves, but some marketing opportunities and even up to some of their national broadcast campaigns that we're going to be able to partner with. So that's looking very good. Nikon will be returning. And let me go back to the map for that 1 second. And how many, your volunteers, preferred seating volunteers in here? Is there anybody besides you here? Let's just show of hands real quickly. All righty. I absolutely blew that last year and I apologize. Okay. What we are doing this year, as we attempted to do last year with moderate success, we placed bleachers on the outside of the TSA fence line, immediately to the east of preferred seating. The intention is to give amateur photographers a place that they can purchase preferred seating and then have an elevated position to shoot the air show from. So the concept was good, the communication was bad, and we're going to do a much better job of that this year. Ann and I met just for a few minutes this morning. We have a tentative plan to finalize how to get you guys informed about how that operation is going to work better for you. But we're improving it for Nikon. They have stepped up to the plate and are sponsoring further activity there. So there will be a private scaffolding behind those bleachers along with an activation tent that Nikon will control. So you won't have to worry about that, but there will be additional activity and people asking questions. We will have you armed with the answers to all those questions before the game. And we're also, speaking of armed, there will be Lakeland PD will be guarding that egress out to the photo stands that we are planning to put out here, here, and here again. And his instructions will be to shoot anyone that doesn't have the proper credentials. So, and Sandy and I are working with that to make sure those credentials are properly identified. There will be very minimal traffic going to those stands this year. And again, apologies, that was my fault last year, and I fell on the sword several times. They hadn't killed me yet. But we'll get that straightened out. We know that that's coming, and that is an extension of preferred seating. So it's basically just an additional offering tilted towards the photography enthusiasts that we have on site. That was the thing I was forgetting, Lance. I was trying to figure out that. I knew that map had more to tell me. Okay. Two things, and I know that Rob, you got plans to expand on Project Stratus. So this is a program that I introduced last year with the effort of using the students from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy to become the ambassadors to Sun and Fun, the fly-in, to introduce the Aerospace Center for Excellence. It was successful. We were able to get it sponsored quite well, and the kids did a great job. They really got out there and did the job. Several of those sponsors, before I even had a chance to ask asked if they could be back for that again. I already have a complete subscription for our Project Stratus students one more time. That's already done. Well ahead of the curve from last year. It was very popular, so we're very pleased with that. The students this year will expand that are participating in the program to become part of the Stratus Squadron are actually expanding into all of Polk County. So the availability of our facilities at the Aerospace Center for Excellence is being advertised throughout Polk County through the junior classmen. And again, Rob will cover the details of that as he has become much more qualified than I am to take that on. Dinner with Legends. This has become our fundraiser within our fundraiser, our signature dinner, if you will. It, of course, is our fundraising activity that supports directly our educational programs. Last year we had quite a number of storied guests. This year is no different. I've got an update on these individuals. I don't want to misspeak anything here. The Breitling Jet team, of course, will be in attendance there. We're expecting to have quite an interest in meeting and greeting with those folks. They have generously donated one of those of you that get the AOPA circular and have seen some of the posts on Facebook. Breitling has generated a U.S. Tour special edition watch. Retail value of that thing's about 10 grand, and they've donated one of those to us for silent auction at the dinner. So that's one element of Breitling's involvement, along with still having the huge boutique presence on the ramp. They are also, and we're still in the final negotiations of this, so don't hang your hat on it quite yet, but it looks like there will be an auction item for a ride with the Breitling Jet team also offered during that dinner. So we're hoping for great turnout. We hope that will bring in quite a number of people that are interested and have the capability of bidding on such a thing. I do not, but I'll certainly clap for the one that wins. All the way to the bank. Bud Anderson has agreed to return, Triple Ace World War II. My friend, I'm very honored to call him, and he is just the gentleman's gentleman. Harley Richards has graciously agreed to accommodate him yet again. I'm sure that's terrible on Harley having a World War II Triple Ace at his home for the week, talking stories about flying with Chuck Yeager. I'm not sure how much of a hardship that is for Harley, but our hearts go out to him. Jessica Cox, those of you who are familiar with her, she is the pilot who flies with her feet. She was born without arms, and she is a certified pilot. She will be in attendance there. She's also a motivational speaker who will be attending our Women in Aviation event the following day. I have spoken to Dick Rutan. He plans to come back. We're finalizing that now. He and I had a blast last year. Colonel Charles McGee, Tuskegee Airman, is returning along with his counterpart, Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy. So we'll have two of those storied gentlemen at our dinner, two Tuskegee Airmen. Just announced yesterday through, where's Pat? There you go. We had a wonderful addition, just absolutely just chills me to think about this gentleman. Colonel Doug Canning is the last surviving pilot of the P-38 squadron that attacked Admiral Yamamoto during World War II and shot his ass down. So that had a lot of interest to me about how it turned in the war. I'm a World War II enthusiast myself, and I was a student of the War in the Pacific. So that one I'm planning to spend a lot of time with. Francis Gary Powers Jr., of course, we're aware of his father's role in the U-2 being shot down in the U-2 during the 60s. He will be in attendance. Patty Wagstaff. We have a couple of other people that we're working on. We're hoping, and again, it's tentative at this point, but we're hoping to have Arnold Palmer in attendance along with Joe Kittinger. So, and Joe, of course, was the high altitude jump record holder for, along with many other things, fighter pilot extraordinaire, and held the high altitude jump record for over 40 years. Anybody free fall for 19 miles, that's something. So it's fun to put this thing together. It's really neat to be able to engage with these people. It is a high ticket item. It's designed to be kind of an intimate gathering, 200 to 250 seats is really all we have available. It's important that you all know some of the feedback that we got last year about the dinner. You know, we all would like to be able, I would love to be able to just say, you know what, everybody come in and meet these people. They're fantastic. Having the opportunity and of course working as hard as everyone does here, it would be great to be able to have everyone just come in and enjoy this thing. Unfortunately, it is in fact a fundraiser. It's designed to make money for our education programs. Every seat in that thing costs us well over $100. So when you start looking at the cost versus the return, we understand completely the desire to get in and be engaged and to reward the good service that you people give. This dinner, it makes it very difficult for us to be able to give away seats or do anything because it's such a close event. Our hope is over the years to grow it to where we're having something a little bit more along the lines of the Gathering of Eagles in Oshkosh, where you could have 1,000 people in a room. First thing would be have something on the ground so we could put 1,000 people in. So we have a serious cart here that's out in front of the horse. Until we can get those roles switched, this is pretty much how it's going to go. So we're working on some other opportunities for some meet and greets. They will be circulating throughout the campus. We'll do our best to make sure we introduce them to you when they come by, because we know how important that is. And gosh darn it, you ought to be able to get some cool stuff for doing what you do here. So we get it. We understand it completely. I'll do our best to make sure that you get any opportunity that we can come up with. Let's see. All right. That's my role for right now. Any questions on anything I've covered up to this point? Yes, sir. Well, you and I need to talk about that a little further, I believe. You had the idea of a presentation and corralling the RAF students or cadets to come around and have something.
My only connection was one of those guys was
Okay. Why don't we chat a little bit more? We still have an opening. We do have there's a jet walk around being planned that hasn't happened before. We have several Vietnam and Korean war era jets that there will be a special walk around done every day. Actually, it's started to be Tuesday through Friday. And what's being brought up now is the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Britain is this year, and a commemoration of that during Veterans Day. And we need to get more into detail on that so we can solidify what we need to do. So why don't you and I sidebar a little bit after this? It'll be all right. Anyone else? Questions? Yes, ma'am. Well, let's see. The question was how much is the Dinner with Legends to attend? The table seating, individual seating, if you wanted to sit with one of the legends, is $650, $1,200 for a couple. Flight crew seating, if you're not wanting to sit at the table with one of the legends, but just be in the room at a table, also very nice, $450, and a couple's $800. We had 168 in attendance last year, and it filled the room pretty nicely, and we reached our goals. So that was the kind of predicated the opportunity to move that forward and go for 200 to 250 this year. And there are opportunities, or sponsorship opportunities. You can buy an entire table, $4,500 to sit with a legend, to have your own table, $3,500 for a table that does not have a legend at it. Okay, questions? Yes, sir.
Regard to the expansion of the ballpark pads, water truck scheduled to regular runs now has been now.
I know that has been in the past. Don, do we have can I give a definitive on that? Yes? Okay. Yes, sir. That's correct.
Do you have any idea about how often that's supposed to occur?
We don't. Don's point is it depends on the weather. If it rains, we obviously don't want to spend the money, but at the same time, if it doesn't, we'll put them out there regularly enough to try to keep that dust down. I know it's a problem. Flipper.
General admission for people coming for driving in, how much does it cost? And for people flying in, how much does it cost to register for a day?
And Tracy, correct me on this if I mess this up, but overall, it's $37 per person is the overall general admission. Parking is $10 for the parking lot. Aircraft parking, we don't have a fee for aircraft parking. So that's where the pilots get an advantage over the drive-in traffic. We do have specials that we run throughout. We have like a Valentine's Day special. There's a lot of online opportunities. The next one's coming up to St. Patrick's Day. And brochures are on the back table. Our special rate for Valentine's Day, Laura? Our special rates online. Okay, St. Patrick's Day special running the week before, and that price is? Okay, so 2 dailies for $55 and 2 weeklies for $110 each. is the published rate. In case you're wondering, keeping all that in my head is impossible. I don't know how she does it. So there's a lot of discounts that we put out there, a lot of promotional work trying to be done to make sure these people get as much opportunity as they can to buy discounted tickets. And then, of course, we shamelessly capitalize on the people that didn't do it. So it's a lot of money to pay, but at the same time, we certainly filled the parking lot last year. Other questions? Volunteer parking. Same location. That is the yellow lot, correct, Laura? Which is right back here. Oh, we have new parking. Our 927 and VIP parking areas are brand new this year as well. That's been moved out into this area, and I think that's notated on the maps. Laura, did you get the maps are at the front? Right. Right. But it's been relocated to this area here. So a lot easier to get people to and from, hopefully much safer getting people back and forth. Ron? Okay, the discussion there, for those of you that couldn't hear, Ron's point's well taken. A lot of the traffic going up and down Doolittle Road is our own volunteers going back and forth. So having you guys, park in your designated areas, making sure that you're there, and then utilizing that for what it should be is going to help out with the inherent issue that we're facing with this situation tremendously. So if you could please just try to adhere to that at all times. And I almost spit out, if possible, just please don't. If you would please just observe this exclusively, and that way we keep that road a lot clearer. Yes, sir.
First aid stations, where would they be located?
Don, have you got a recourse on the first aid station locations? I do not. I'll get back to you on those, sir. I'm going to play my new guy card on you there. Absolutely. Absolutely. There will be. We just need to get you the specific locations. Okay. Did you hear that? Yeah, first aid stations. The question is where the first aid station is going to be located. This will be designated on the convention map. I do not personally know where they are right now, although if this thing doesn't go well here with the Doolittle thing, I might need one. But that's to be, that'll be on your maps. Another question. Yes, sir. Uh-huh. Okay. It's going to be designated parking, right? So, all right, again, just taking this on, that was not done previously. You're asking if it will be this year. All right. Can we? Okay. We'll put it in the mix. It's not something that's been discussed at this point. Certainly valuable. There is access. The whole point of this little line here is the access to that parking area, which is designated for the people that have, paid to occupy that point there. Obviously, your point is well taken, and getting you to and from that so you can go to work it's a long hike. Right. Sure. If you would, I should have put my contact. If you'll see me right after, I'll give you my card, and then we'll make sure that you get the briefing on that so that you can make that information aware to your people as well. Does that work out? Okay. Anyone else? All right, that's it for me. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to working with all of you, and if there's anything I can do, I'm in the corner office up there right next to Laurie's desk. So you get that ray of sunshine, and then you can come in and deal with me. And I believe I'll hand it off to Kieran. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Sun and Fun.
Lights, if you want to increase that early bird thing, I think you just have to put an advertisement on across the country right now, because it'd look like Boston Strong out there if you want some early bird volunteers across the country. There they are, I'm telling you. Is Nan still here? Nan? Hey, Nan, I have a quick thing for you on the grandmother thing. You're about to find out what my grandmother always told me, that grandparents and grandchildren have a common enemy. You're going to love it. Okay, I want to apologize for the lack of being able to hear in the back. We'll fix that. We'll fix that this week. So next time we're here, you guys will be able to hear, and we'll get some mics out so we can hear the questions. So I apologize for that, because that back speaker is not working. And I want to thank everyone for being, pretty quiet, so that the people in the back get the best opportunity to hear, despite the challenges. Anyway, it's great to see all you guys again. We love, 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 love working with you. I have a fantastic team. Best ever. These guys have been doing what they do for a long, long time, and they are the pros. They are the absolute pros. They're the consummate people, for FAA. That doesn't always happen, but they're great. I got a text from one of my neighbors the other night, and he said, who do I complain to about the noise of the jet going over my house at 7 o'clock tonight? I said, I got this one for you, buddy. Tomorrow I'm going to send 7 more, and you're going to enjoy today. So my kind of point to that is, when it stops making noise, call me. That's called accident investigation. The beautiful thing about that subject, though, is I've been in the FAA for 18 years, and you cannot imagine the noise complaints that we get on a daily basis. I mean, we've got a guy that outside of Orlando that believes he owns the airspace up to 10,000 feet above his house. So it's nuts. But Lakeland, we haven't gotten noise complaints. For an air show, what we do, and the people that may not love aviation as much as we do, we don't get that. Not everyone in Lakeland feels the economic impact, the 64 million or whatever it is that this show generates, but they still don't complain. So it's kind of up to all of us to sell the sizzle out there, that this is a great thing that you get to see. You don't have to really even, well, I wouldn't say buy a ticket, but they can see it from their yards. And that doesn't happen, very many places in the world. And then when they have people coming here and they want to say, oh my God, we've got Sun and Fun going on, let's get a ticket, take you out there. We got a great thing. It's right in their backyard. So it's kind of up to us to sell the sizzle on that one. I want to say something real quick. Lots of people, everybody knows what they do. Most people know how they do it. It's a stranger, rarer cat that knows why they do a thing. And I think most people lead from the outside in, from the solid to the fuzzy. But what really separates people is the leaders. People that lead always know why they do a thing. And they lead with why. And then they work into how they do it. And then what they do. I mean, Martin Luther King didn't have I have a plan speech. Yeah. I mean, how uninspiring would that have been? So when we think about Sun and Fun and what we do, I can tell you, my team and I will tell you why we do what we do. We have such a love for aviation and for the safety. We're absolutely dedicated to the safety of the whole thing. We will have the FSDO in full force as we did last year. It was very much missed in the years that we weren't here because of the sequestration. They are here to give customer service and really genuinely help everybody out. And so direct them. They'll be right up front like they always are. And these guys are going to help with any problem anyone has. And the problems we get are kind of funny. It's like, well, I have a friend who got a DWI last month, So we get a lot of friends, people that have friends, but these guys are asking for genuine help. What do I do? And these guys are going to make it happen. We have a lot of exciting forums that are going to happen right here. We kind of mix it up every year. I'm going to have these guys talk about it. One thing that I think could be a perfect storm, and we're ready to address it at Sun and Fun, is the UAS thing. We have the love them and the hate them crowd, or in the middle crowd is, I don't know what I think about them. What's the FAA going to do about them? We will address that. We will have top speakers and our subject matter experts on the subject. And I would expect it to come up a lot during Sun and Fun. We will have some drones or, here in the hangar. So we're going to address that as positively as we can in a public scenario, so everyone gets the information that we actually have out there. So that being said, I want to introduce my most fabulous team. I've got Larry Inlow from the FAASTeam, and I got Bob Jex, and I thank you guys. We love you dearly.
Thank you, Karen. And good morning, everyone. It's great to be back again. Sun and Fun is a terrific event for folks who work for the FAA, and we just really, really, really enjoy the cooperative relationship that we've had with the Sun and Fun group for now over 40 years, 41 years. It's really, really a tremendous opportunity to enhance safety. And that is the word, safety. And to follow on what Lights was talking about earlier this morning, Sun and Fun has enjoyed a tremendous safety record. And that's not because of luck. That's because this is really an extraordinary gathering of remarkable aviation professionals in all the areas of aircraft operations, from our volunteers that handle air and ground operations, all the folks at the airport that do such a great job, our air show professionals, our air traffic controllers, and our FSDO inspectors. We all work together to ensure a safe event, and it's just been going on for a number of years in a very safe way, and we just can't overemphasize how important that is. And the cooperative relationship that we've had for so many years with everybody involved in Sun and Fun is why this works, and we really appreciate it. Lights, the only luck we need is good weather, because weather always has an impact on Sun and Fun, either positively or negatively. So we're all going to keep our fingers crossed for good weather this year, and that will assure another superb Sun and Fun. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It is a true pleasure, and I want to add my voice to the chorus of praise for all the volunteers who make Sun and Fun work. Lights, you do a hell of a job keeping everybody organized, herding the cats, and I don't know how you do it. It's an honor to be here. My name again is Bob Jex, and I want to brief to you the changes to the schedule. During the week of Sun and Fun, we'll have a number of forums, government interactive agencies with the flying public, and all those forums will take place right here where you're seated today. We've got a very active schedule, subject to changes once in a while, and I'll brief a couple of those to you right now. The basic schedule is published in the Sun and Fun website already. A couple of changes you might want to know about. We're having the Wright Brothers Master Pilot Award just prior to Meet the FAA Day. The Deputy Administrator, Michael Whitaker, will be addressing the public on Thursday. It's showing right now as Friday on the schedule. Please make a note of it if you want to come and meet the brass that we work for. That's Michael Whitaker, Deputy Administrator of the FAA, on Thursday. On Friday, we will have Guy Minor addressing the crowd on a lot of the FAASTeam stuff and the FAAsafety.gov website. So we've swapped those two events. Michael Whitaker's event, Meet the FAA, and Guy Minor's event will now be on Friday. So, but we have a very dynamic schedule. Please come by during Sun and Fun, see what the FAASTeam and the FAA is all about, and come out and see the face of who we are and what we do. Thank you very much.
Okay, Nan.
Hi, everyone. My name is not Nan Walsh. My name is Adam Lunn. I'm the Airport Operations Coordinator here at the Lakeland Airport, and I'm going to do a quick update of the airport projects that are going on and some changes for 2015. There we go. All right, so we're going to do a quick airport update. Before I continue, I would like to introduce Andy Castro. Andy's in the back of the room. He's the new General Manager of Shelter Air. They're a new FBO here at Lakeland, and we're thrilled to have them, along with Ashley Udick. Both of them are here to assist you guys in getting fuel. I know that's a hot topic every year, and they're here to help us and get us worked out with that. So we're going to lead off with our first project. Project update is going to be the South Fuel Farm. Some of you that have been around the airport have probably seen this being built. It currently just passed inspection, and we're hopefully it'll be operating here in the next week. Along with that, we have the new Polk State College building that is being renovated. Some of you know it as the old Flight Safety Building. That's currently undergoing a $1.5 million renovation, and we're hopeful that Polk State will be in there soon and operating their aerospace program out of that ramp in that center. As always, both self-service fuel tanks on the north and south side of the airport will be closed as for safety reasons throughout the event. And a note, Shelter will be using these tanks on the south side to refuel their trucks this year, which hopefully will greatly increase their operational efficiency, preventing them from having to drive to the north side to refuel their trucks. All right, moving on. Next up is the Airport Fire Station. This station just opened last month. It is currently home to ARF-1, ARF-2, as well as Engine 71 and Heavy Rescue 14. These gentlemen are great. They're great professionals, and we're thrilled to have them here. And we have a world-class facility now for them. And we're very, very proud of it, and we thank those guys for their service here at the airport. Next up is the new air traffic control tower. Groundbreaking is going to be on the first day of Sun and Fun, April 21st. We're expecting it to be completed prior to Sun and Fun 2016. And for those of you who don't know, it'll be approximately 3 times taller than the existing tower. It'll be located adjacent to the CDT hangars on the north side of the airport, just outside of the aerobatic box. North ramp rehab that is currently underway. That project is approximately 50% complete as of today, and construction will be suspended throughout the fly-in. All right, this is another great opportunity that the airport is thrilled to have and to help Sun and Fun out with. This is the new southwest ramp, as the FAA wants us to call it, or as you guys know it, the Warburg ramp. Paving is scheduled to start the week of March 2nd, so this week. And it is increasing, as Greg mentioned. He mentioned a lot about the ramp. It is going from 5 acres to 7 acres. And we're very thrilled about this. SOD should be going in shortly thereafter, so we're hopefully that it will be established prior to the start of the event. Okay, 2 critical dates that everyone needs to write down and keep on the back of their minds are security procedure dates. So from Friday, April 10th through Thursday, April 16th, you'll be able to access that green area. However, you will have to have an airport security ID. And then from Friday, April 17th to Monday, April 27th, you'll be able to access the green area without an airport badge. And also, one other thing for 2015, the airport will be closing at 8 p.m. In years past, we've closed the airport at 10 p.m. This year, we're going to close from 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that's going to be from Sunday to Saturday. And then this is another new thing that we are trying out this year. It is we're calling it an event badge. Now, this badge is going to be valid on the south side of the airport in that green area that you saw earlier. And it's going to be active or activated from April 10th to April 17th. So it allows you to get out there. If you have to access that green area, you're going to have either an airport issued ID or one of these event badges. And these event badges are going to be issued through Sun and Fun. And we're asking that everyone please get with your chairman. If you feel like you need one of these badges to access that area, please request it through them, and then it'll run up through the chain, and then you'll be issued an event badge. And next up is Sandy Bridges.
One of the fun parts of my job is bragging about people, and I have to tell you that I did not know that Adam was so connected to us until his mom called me about a school event they were having. And she proceeded to tell us that Adam got into the career that he did because of our summer camps and all in the involvement that he did through the education programs at Sun and Fun. And recently he was named, which I did know, one of 40 or the top aviation young professionals under the age of 40. So let's hear it for Adam. cool. Okay, I'm here for communications updates, and one of the things that I have to do, along with Greg, is to apologize for last year. We let the photographers and the news media get totally out of control, and I'm here to tell you we cracked down. We've put out some new credential requirements from each one of the agencies that are requesting to be on the grounds. We are having limited access to photography areas with professional photographers who are on assignment. We heard from some of the security guards that some of the areas were escorting people with their iPods and their iPhones to the professional areas, and that there was a lot of fallout, and we want to know about it. My phone number is up there. I want you to call me if you have any complaints about the media, because we will get it taken care of. We want them out there desperately, and most of them are extreme professionals, and they're there to get a story, and they want to make us look good, and we want to work with them, but we're not tolerating any arrogance or attitudes by any of the people that are on the grounds. The other thing is that we need stories from you. I've sent emails to several of the chairmen to try and find out little tidbits that might be changing this year that we can put in the program book. One of the things that we're doing this year with the info guide is to make sure that instead of having to flip from page to page to page for everybody's agenda for their forums and workshops and AOPA forums and night programs and museum programs, everything's going to be in a daily schedule. So when you go to bed at night, you can look at the next day's schedule and decide what you're going to do for the day without flipping through all the pages. That's not the easiest thing we've ever done, okay? But we're working on it. We're also going to have interpreters available for you, and if in any of your areas you have any kind of a problem, we're going to have a hotline printed so that you can get a hold of our international visitors new chairman. Silvana's sitting back there, and if you'll stand up, Silvana Knight has agreed to take on chairing the international visitors area, and it's really kind of exciting. The international visitors area, one of the things that I think we miss sorely, and we've all talked about it in debriefs, is that we have a lot of volunteers. We have a lot of exhibitor staff that don't ever go to the hospitality tent for international visitors, and we would love to see them there. The party this year is going to be the same as it was last year with the food trucks and the band in the pavilion, and everyone is invited to go out in that area and listen to the band and have a good time. We want to make sure that the international visitors get their hospitality tickets, but if you've been working with international visitors, you're more than welcome to go into that area and share the evening with them. Band is open to the public. And the other thing that's happening, I don't know who might be talking about it, is on Tuesday night, the Sennheiser stage in the corn roast area, the band Rodeo Drive that they usually do on Sunday night, they're going to do on Tuesday night, so everybody that's here. The other thing that's happening on Tuesday, even though we're having the dedication this afternoon for Duffy, we're going to repeat it during the fly-in at Camp Duffy so that we can include all the people who've come in who have worked with Duffy over the years. I think Rob's going to talk. I'm sorry, it's at 5:30 on Tuesday so that everybody can get off airside and come back. And I think Rob's going to talk about the other dedications that we have for the Florida Aviation Hall of Fame, the Flight Path of Fame, and the Davis family renovation of the 727 into a classroom. And let me see, where do I go down? I don't know how you can do this. This one? Oh, thanks, Laura. Silvana, that's it. Oh, the food truck rally, and now it's done. Thank you.
Good morning. We all heard Greg talking a minute ago about his excitement over the jets. That's pretty exciting. But I've got him beat. I've got 400 brand new, clean, one owner portalets. Let me see you top that one then. Yeah. You and your jet blast, I got you beat, man. These are coming down actually from Disney. Brand new. Disney requires them every year to bring them new ones. They just put in 13,000 up there for the big run they had the other day. I was going to run it, but I was tied up. So, you that haven't noticed, I can't talk any louder. You should have gotten here earlier and you could have got a front seat. In a moment, I'll give you mine. Okay, in case you haven't noticed, and if you haven't noticed, then you've been somewhere else. You can't get from this side of the Sun and Fun to the other side because there's no bridge there. So you want to be kind of careful if you drive that the bridge is out. Nan has promised us, see, I can say that because she's not here. Nan has promised us the bridge will be back. She can't hear me though. The bridge will be back before the fly-in. Hi, Nan. How you doing? But she was promised that by Gene, so we'll keep passing the buck on up. Anyway, it did go away. They do hope to have it back. If we don't, we're in trouble. You can get from this point to that point by going in front of the Davis Center or by golf cart or bicycle or tennis shoe only by the old golf cart path. It's still available. Do not go on the golf cart path in a truck or a car, because when you fall through the bridge, you're going to be real embarrassed. Please don't do it. Some of the things you'll see, we've been doing a power upgrade. The airport's actually doing it, but it will affect us in a good way. In front of the Honda site, beside the Sunset Grill, you'll see a new switch gear that's been installed. This is all to help us in the event that a power failure should occur. We are now able to switch power from the east to the west. So that's a good thing for us. This also helps with the power needs that are going to be taking place out on the Warbird ramp. Later on, there'll be an additional power added going down Rocky Road that will also help with redundancy. You'll notice that a lot of the new buildings, or the old buildings, now look like new buildings because the painters have been busy painting them. So what used to be a color that Bonnie had chosen, the Desert Storm, she's gone the other way now, guys. So I think she owns interest in the paint company. So we're now going to another color, red, white, and blue, more or less. Lights was talking about power saving. We've done several things to do that. One of them was at the hospitality building. We've just relamped it. We've installed new lamps on the outside that took away the high pressure sodium fixtures that were out there. We put in new fixtures, which will amount to kW usage of about a third of what we were using before. So all of you employees, you'll see that in your bonus. Right, lights? Yeah, right. Okay. That's pretty much it. We've got a lot of repair work going on trees. Donna, your trailer is looking real good. Pardon me? I don't know what she said, but it probably wasn't good. No, I don't want to know. Okay, now the real reason I'm up here is to bring up the princess, the queen of the hop, Robin Farland, who is now a member of the city of Lakeland. So now she can complain about her taxes.
Good morning. Welcome back. Seems like we were just here not too long ago, and here we are again. And I'm very excited to be back. The first thing we're going to talk about is new volunteer recruitment. Now, if you haven't had an email from myself or Martha or Janet Greenwood, you will. We have so many volunteers signing up this year. We had a slow year last year, but this year they are coming out of the woodwork. And I think it's because they've heard we're going to have a really outstanding show. So please do me a favor. I ask you guys this every year, and every year I have to ask it again. When you get an email from us, if you don't need that person, or you find out through conversation with that person, which I hope you're doing, and you find out that they're not a fit, send them back so that we can place them. They get 4 choices of areas to volunteer in on the application that they get online. 4 choices. Your area, because you're getting them, is probably their first choice. Now, do I know that they're completely qualified for your area? Not all the time. Do we have time to call each one that comes in? No. That's going to be your part. So when I send you someone, or Martha sends you someone, which Martha has sent out a whole lot of them, you get them, you say, I don't even need this person, send them right back. If you're all full up, let us know you're all full up. We won't bother you again until you say, send me more. So please do that, because what is happening is people are getting a bad taste in their mouth because they say, well, we've been applying for years and nobody ever calls us. We do not want that reputation. We want a reputation where we have open arms to people that want to help us here, because we want to grow this family. That's part of who we are. So please help us to be good at doing that. And I will be more than happy to help any of you that have a need. Now, the other part of the recruitment is you know best what you need. So go online to the website and fill out, I need this person, and this is why, and this is what they have to do, and post it to the website. We have had a lot of chairmen that have had a lot of success with that tool. Use the tools you have. They are there to help you, and they help me help you. So please do that. And it gives us, we print them so that we keep them available, so we know, oh, we got to have a need here, we got to fill this. So it's a win-win for everybody. The other thing I didn't have on my agenda, but I'm going to mention it really quick. We have a lovely lady that goes around and takes group pictures of your areas, of all your volunteers together as a group, as a family. Okay, last year she went around, and we're not kidding when we say herding cats. Every time she showed up, there was Johnny or Jane or Sue or somebody out there that was still out in the field that couldn't be in the picture. If you're going to schedule an appointment and they're all scheduled, Sue has a schedule that she follows. So if you're late, the next person that has all their people ready is going to be late, and they have a schedule that they're trying to keep on the field. So be respectful of each other. Be respectful of Sue Tarver's time. When you want your picture made, have your people there, have them ready to go, and there's smiles on their faces and all in their places on time. So, and they sign up online. I'm getting those applications right now so that I can give them to Sue so she can call you and find the best time to get all your people together in one place. Because I know it's hard. I mean, we're like crazy people. Our hair's on fire during the show. So try to put the extinguisher to the head and get the pictures made. Let's see. Sign shop will be open until 1 o'clock today. Please make it your priority, if you have signs to order, to be there so Sue can take your order. And if you need assistance on how to fill out a sign order sheet or when they have to be in, and please get them in on time, please. It helps everybody know how to get to your areas, to be safe in your areas because of the signs. I know people say nobody reads the signs, but there are those people out there that do read signs, and we need them. Lunch today will be served in the Sunset Grill. If you RSVP'd, which I hope all of you did, have lunch on us. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until all those that have RSVP'd have their lunch. We have done a few extras, so stand by. And I think that's all that I have for all of you. I'm so happy to have you back. Welcome back, and I'll see you soon. Oh, who do I? And Rob's coming up now, Mr. Energetic.
All right, good morning, everyone. In the essence of time, I'm going to just touch on a few highlights here, and the schedule will be posted on the website. But going on in aerospace discovery at the Florida Air Museum, we have a fantastic series of symposiums going on. Highlighted on Tuesday will be our Hall of Fame induction classes with the Florida Aviation Hall of Fame. So the 2014 class has already been announced. Curtis Pitts is actually part of that class. The 2015 class, we're actually finalizing that right now. I'll announce you those nominees next meeting. So plan on coming there to that on, Falling Down Wednesday is something we're really proud of here. We, along with Mike and Mark's help, we're having a great chance to take our young aviators. You know, John Esker gets them young at the camps. They come to see Keith. Eric gets them at the colleges. Then we can take them onto a career path here. This is our second annual career fair at the Fly-In. So along with your purchase ticket to the Fly-In, you get a chance to interact with all of these really heavy hitters in the aviation industry. Southwest, JetBlue, Jeppesen, all these people are coming looking for qualified aerospace professionals that we're providing right here on our campus. So they're coming from all over the world and our campus to get careers during our fly-in. So that'll be Wednesday in the museum. Okay, on Thursday, we're going with the theme of Education Day. We're having a few new projects unveiled there. One of our CFA students is going to be doing his Eagle Scout project there, as well as an intern through Polk State College, a program we have here on our campus. And Mr. Frank Klatt is going to be finishing up his exhibit on innovations in propulsion. So we'll be introducing those new exhibits there. We got a J31 engine that Travis College helped us restore over Frank's supervision there. Be unveiling that to the public. So pretty proud of that. Mike Z will be talking about everything he's got going on with Lakeland Aero Club. The NIFA, Eagles Nest Projects and NIFA, the National Intercollegiate Flight Association, they're going to be talking about everything they do at college level to make the next generation of pilots. And they're also going to be doing a flyover as well. And then as we start to get into the UAS systems, Florida Southern College right here has a micro air vehicles. They're going to be demonstrating and talking about the programs that they have. Carrying on with our theme on Friday of Women in Aviation, we will have Jessica Cox talking. And the big heavy hitter to this day are our two programs about UAS design and development. We're going to have Alan Fraser talking about UAS use in law enforcement, and confirmed yesterday, Jim Williams from the FAA, the manager of the UAS program, will be talking about UAS rules and regulations and how it relates to us in general aviation, what's being done about it. So that's something I think we're all interested in finding out more about. And here's Jessica Cox on Friday with our Women in Aviation series, and the WASPs will be there that day as well. And Saturday, something pretty interesting. Who's here has watched Airplane Repo? Anybody? All right, so it's a show on the Discovery Channel. We're going to have Ken and Danny will be here on that day to talk about some of their interesting adventures that they've had. So it should be a great time to hear all the stories they have to tell us. And then let's see here. Every day we're going to have the Florida Aviation Network, and Obi's team will be live streaming. For whoever hasn't got a chance to come by and see that, it's really neat to see what his team is able to do before and after to make that program happen. I highly suggest you all get a chance to come by. The Jeppesen Training Experience. We have a new FBO sponsored by Signature Flight Support in the Air Museum. Jeppesen is going to be using that during the show to talk about all their training products that they have there. So come on by, see that. And ham radio, I know Tom and his group last year, it was a huge success, and we're happy to have them back again. If any of you are ham radio enthusiasts or want to know more about it, suggest you stop by for that. JetBlue will be, the Monday member mingle for all of our current Florida Air Museum members to say thank you for everything that you've done to support our mission throughout the years here. JetBlue will be arriving Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So they're going to be picking up the kids from New York in the morning, flying them down to Orlando, and then our kids from CFA will be meeting with them and arriving at 11 o'clock for a nice lunch here. Thursday will be the grand opening of the Piedmont Aerospace Experience. That's the new 727 that we're going to be painting with Piedmont colors on it and turning it into a classroom for use August next school year, as well as a showcase flyover with all the NIFA Region 9 schools, Florida Air Academy, Polk State Aviators, and the Lakeland Aero Club will all be taking part in that. And then Saturday is the Aerospace Educators Workshop, where teachers can get continuing education credits while they're here. student tours. That's be posted on the website if you can take a look at that. Kat does a fantastic job running that along there with John Iskra. That's just some of the stops they make along the way. And also, one thing, if you do see young kids there with families, you can tell them they can come down to Piedmont. I know John has a phenomenal array of all sorts of aerospace-related educational activities for kids there in Piedmont. So just because they're on a student tour, it is a stop. But if you see a family, say, hey, why don't you go down to Piedmont and experience what's there? That way we can get them interested in what's happening here with their summer camps so they can go on to be the Adams out there, all right? Outreach projects we have, Greg briefly talked on Project Stratus. It's already been released to all 34 Polk County high schools. From there, we're going to be select one representative from each of those schools, and then we'll conduct semifinalist interviews to break it down to 10 people. A minimum of those 10 will come from CFAA, and we're going to announce them at the various high schools around the area in an education week, the week before the fly-in. Ravi from last year will be out visiting the local schools. Eugene Knock from the Batcopter, we're going to get him out talking to the kids, as well as the SR-71 pilots have agreed to go out and to one of our local universities here and talk about their missions, what they've accomplished to make us safe on behalf of the Aerospace Center for Excellence in Sun and Fun. And I think that's it for me. And next should be Ms. Laura Vaughn.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So the more we do, the longer this meeting gets. So next year, we're going to have a 3, 4, 5-hour meeting maybe. Okay. I want to, first of all, where's the keyboard? Share with you. We've been, okay. Well, now I need to go back. Sorry. I'm going to do it this way. I know how to do it this way. You've been looking at this poster all morning. Just want to give you a little bit of what we've done. You know, we have Melissa, who is a wonderful graphic artist. She's been on board with us for about 10 years, and she's done some beautiful artwork. We received this photo by a first-time Sun and Fun visitor last year who compiled all of his photographs from his first-time visit and put them into a mosaic and gave it to us and allowed us to use it for our poster this year. So I just wanted to give you a little backstory on that beautiful poster. We are real proud of it. It's been a cause for a lot of conversation. We blew it up really big in our display area, and people go up and try to find their airplane or an airshow performer they know. But it's really neat. If you have a chance to look at it real close, give it a look. Got a couple of new things to announce. We have, well, actually Preston USA provided a bus service last year to Sun and Fun. It was the first year, and it wasn't really well publicized. It was started kind of late in the game. This year we've tried to get things formalized a little bit earlier. We're getting ready to put this information on the website. It's not currently there. I received this map last night. But Preston USA will be providing a hotel shuttle to and from Lakeland, a airport shuttle, which will also visit the Lakeland Airport, Lakeside Village, and then return to Sun and Fun. So it'll be kind of a way for those people who are not aviators that came with an aviator but want to find something else to do. They can go to Lakeside Village and enjoy a day of shopping or whatever. They're also going to expand that shuttle into the evening and offer up a dinner shuttle as well. And we have 2 stops on the Sun and Fun site. One is in the Lindbergh lot near the admission registration trailer. And actually we have 3 locations. The daytime shuttle for the hotels will be dropping and picking up in front of the Piedmont hangar where the student tour buses come in. And then the airport shuttle and the dinner shuttle will be also picking up in the campground in front of Hangar E. We will have signage out for that, but this will allow us to provide our guests a needed service that we haven't had in a while. We tried it last year, and we are hoping to grow it this year. So they're successful, and our guests are successful. The other thing that is new, we have had a relationship with Budget Rental Cars for 29 years here at Sun and Fun, well before I came on board. This year, we have switched rental car companies. We are going to be using Enterprise Car Rental, and we have a relationship with them now. They will be on our on-site rental. They will be located in the same location that Budget was in last year. The new aspect to this is that if you rent a car anytime during the year and you use the code that is associated with Sun and Fun will get benefit from your car rental. So we're hoping to grow this and provide this information to people who are using our site here on a year-round basis, but also keep this in mind when you're booking a car, and use Enterprise whenever you can. Couple of things. We're going back to this, I'm going to call it a horrible map. Melissa was out sick with her new baby yesterday. She normally helps me with the map, and I had to pull this together myself, so I apologize for it being a little bit blurry. But a couple of things. I just mentioned Enterprise, and like I said, they're going to be in the same place that Budget was last year. Then the locations on the map with the stars is where Preston will be picking up the hotel shuttles here, here, and here. And then one thing that was missed when we were talking about the Warbird ramp is that the Warbirds of America have agreed, or they planned to build a Warbird headquarters building that will be, and it will be completed before the fly-in, what I'm told, and it is going to be right in this location, and it is going to be a building similar to, I don't know in looks, but it will be splitting the fence line much like the Vintage building, Vintage headquarters building does, so we will have use of that building on a year-round basis. So they will be making use of that, doing things that they do in their headquarters building. I'm not exactly sure why, but I brought that up because no one else talked about it. We are doing our car show again this year, the second year, and it will be in the north side of the Southeast exhibits on Saturday and Sunday. So if you love classic cars in addition to aviation, you might want to stop by there and give the car show a visit on Saturday and Sunday. Also, if you know someone that has a classic car, they can actually go online and register, and they get free entry on Saturday and Sunday as long as they bring their car in for the event. So it's a nice way for them to come and be able to find out what we do here and introduce them to Sun and Fun, and also have their car here so we can enjoy their vehicles and our guests can enjoy their vehicles. Jet team, we talked about where the 927 parkers or the guests will be parking. Our Jet Team families will be making use of the parking lot at the high school on Saturday. And is it Saturday and Sunday, Ginger, or is it just Saturday? Saturday and Sunday. So one of the things that was brought to my attention is that we're going to have to coordinate that with the Sheriff's Department to let them somehow know that these groups are coming in there. So if you'll make a note of that. Okay. All right. Chairman information. By this time, hopefully every chairman in here has been to the website and read there. If you haven't, please come talk to me. I do have a number of chairmen that have not accepted their chairmanship. You do so on this website. If you don't know where, please come and talk to me and I will share that with you. Last year, the credential office, which is still going to be in the Crossville Center during the fly-in, shut down midday. And I have talked with Libby Morgan and her team, and they will be staying open all day long. I just want to let everyone know that. Okay. So you'll be able to do whatever you need to do in there. Also, chairman hats are here, and Lou Ann Nielsen, who works with me in my office, is at the back table there, and she's issuing you and your co-chairman your chairman hats. If you want to pick those up today, you certainly can do that. The deadline for equipment requests, that means hitting that submit button or clicking that little submit box and letting me know that your equipment is ready, is March the 2nd. How many in here have clicked that little box? How many still need to? Okay. I have photographic memory. I know who all of you are. Please help me get my vendor orders in. If you can, please get that done as quickly as possible. It would really, really help the process. Oops. Okay. Volunteer handbooks. I don't have them completed yet. I am hoping to have them done within the next week or so. There's just a lot of elements that I want to add to it. It keeps growing each year, and there's things I keep thinking, oh, that'd be great to add to the handbook. So bear with me. I will send an email out to the chairman when it is available, and maybe even include it in the email. Okay. Keep it. Okay. Volunteer ID cards. Chairman, you've received an email from me kind of explaining what this is. Last year we handed out paper cards. This year we're doing permanent cards. The paper cards will still work, but we're trying to get the chairman and particular individuals that the chairman provide to us information, assigning them new permanent cards. These are cards that you will keep, and yours will not have this little cut edge on it. It'll be a full card, but we currently will be using this card for when you go to get your fuel in any Sun and Fun vehicle during flying operations. When you're picking up your equipment, we will be utilizing this, and we hope to grow this process and use it for more and more things to help us track all of our equipment and stuff to help keep our costs down, so we'll know who has what. So if you have not already assigned people, volunteers, a card, and you think that they're going to be in charge of picking up your fuel or equipment, you need to check the box on their credential request that they need a card. And if anybody's unclear about that, I sent an email out about it about a month ago. So check with me, or you can ask Charlie as well. Okay, a couple of things Sandy missed, and she asked me to mention them. David, her wonderful husband, is at the back table, and he is there so you can sign up for Mayhem in the AM. This is for 5-minute live interviews during the fly-in on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. So if you're interested in doing an interview during the fly-in, please check with David and get an assigned time on that schedule. Okay, this is just talking about the cards again. So one other thing I did want to say about the cards, we're currently this card actually says early bird on it, and what we're doing with our early bird volunteers is they are, I don't want to say our test monkeys, but they are they are actually going to start using these cards and documenting their volunteer hours. And this is something that I've been wanting to do for a long time for the fly-in volunteers. So eventually, hopefully someday, we will move in that direction where you won't have to fill out the little cards. But for now, our early birds are going to see how that works, and hopefully everything will work fine. So. Okay, new chairman for 2015. If I call your name, will you please stand up if you're in the room? Katie Clements, who is going to be doing statistics. Tiffany Taylor, special event rentals. Amy Arnold, the announcer stand, the air show announcer stand. Debbie Hobbs, food service. Sylvania Knight, international visitors. I think Sandy introduced her earlier. Mike Z is what I'm going to call him, Young Aviators Camping. Gary Fry, who has been Bud Davidson's co-chairman for a number of years, is taking over the reins at Flightline Host. Tricia King, who is going to be the new contact for the Civil Air Patrol. Van Vickers is taking over. He had been a chairman previously in the Corn Roast area, and he's taking those reins again. And then Eston Fuller with the QBs will be stepping forward. And I think there's a new lead in our Silver Wings headquarters building too, but I don't have him on the slide. So we'll get that maybe next meeting. And just wanted to, I know you can't read this, but this is our fly-in org chart. This is how big we are and how many different operations we have and how we kind of flow with one another. So this will be in the volunteer handbook as well. And I have a larger printout in my office if you ever want to come and look at it. But we do try to manage you guys. I know sometimes you just get out of hand, but we do try to keep y'all in, and so you know who you need to go to if you need to get a question answered. So this is us. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Okay, I'm going to be introducing Mike Z, who is going to be the first one to do our division and area reports. I hope everybody has a great fly-in. Thank you for coming today. And Dave Piper, I'm really going to miss you.
Good afternoon. Sorry, it is afternoon. I'll be brief. I'm Mike Z. I'm the director of the Lakeland Aero Club, which is our high school flying club. It's made up of the young people who have gotten their pilot's licenses through Sun and Fun. Dane Busson here is the student president, and he is our newest private pilot, thanks to you. In an effort to really promote young people in aviation, Sun and Fun is having for the first time ever a youth young aviators camping area, we're calling it. It's in the NOTAM. There'll be YAC in the windshield. The location of this campsite is going to be east of Vintage, between Vintage and Homebuilt. It's going to get kind of wedged in there close to Doolittle Road. It's a place for pilots under 25 who fly in. Are going to be allowed to camp in this area. Sun and Fun is not charging them for the camping. It's a place for them to meet other pilots their age and get to enjoy the fly-in experience together. If you know any young pilots, please invite them to come and join us in this area. The camping will be free for these young people. It'll be hosted by the Lakeland Aero Club, which is our high school flying club. It's made up of young men and young women who they're either in flight training, they've become pilots, or they're enrolled in the high school A&P program. Their age is from 16 to 20. I don't think we have anybody that's 21 yet in the club. As Lights mentioned earlier, we've had 55 young people solo an airplane in the last 2.5 years. 27 private pilots. This is the newest one. There are also 6 commercial pilots out of that crop and 3 CFIs currently that have come through the program that Sun and Fun does the scholarships for. This is an amazing achievement, and nobody else is doing this. And so we're leading the way with this young aviators camping area. Also, the Lakeland Aero Club will be hosting the Ford Tri-Motor. Again, we hosted it last year. We raised the money for our annual trip to Oshkosh. To date, we've taken over 12 new pilots and led them on their own expedition across the country. They flew themselves to Oshkosh, representing Sun and Fun the whole way. We take Sun and Fun's flying assets, we put these young people in it, and off to Oshkosh we go. It's been tremendously successful. Their major fundraising event for that is this Ford Tri-Motor. The Tri-Motor is going to have some early specials for people it's designed for people who are already on campus in the morning when the gates open. The first few flights of the Ford Tri-Motor are going to be done at a tremendous discount. There'll be information handed out to the campground. So for those of you who have wanted to go for a ride on the Ford and are camping here in the area, there are going to be discount prices for that ride, and the proceeds from the Ford Tri-Motor flights go towards the Lakeland Aero Club's trip to Oshkosh every year. The most important thing to remember, and you're going to see them out there on the flight line, you're going to see them in orange vests. These are not children, these are young pilots. They're the product of your hard work. They deserve your respect. They are the future volunteers for Sun and Fun. Thank you all. Please let everybody in your committees know about what we're doing here.
Good afternoon, and speaking of lunch, how fitting that I should show up. Those that you don't know me probably don't recognize me without the awesomeness of my mohawk from last year or the great taste of our barbecue on Saturdays. But using my wife's special book, I've noticed that in this book, everything that's in there calls for ingredients, which brings me to the purpose of this. Every year, you guys have to fill out your lunch orders. I use the lunch orders that you put in to calculate how much food I have to get from U.S. Foods, which in turn is a major expense to Sun and Fun to feed us. So last year, when I sat down with U.S. Foods to put my food order in, you guys had placed orders for 8,000 sandwiches. We made 18,670. So that puts me in a position where I've got to, or pardon the pun, it puts me in a pickle between winging it and guessing. So if you can, please get your food orders in. I checked this morning, but I got to talk to Charlie. I wasn't able to pull that up to see actually how many sandwiches have been ordered to this date. So just, if you would, please try to get that done before the end of this month so I can make an accurate guess. So, I'm one sandwich away from hero or zero, because once we put that food in the truck and I sign the papers, Sun and Fun now owns everything inside of it. So my calculations got to be pretty close. So if you could, the other side of that is when we started the show last year, I only had an order for 11,000. So it puts me in a bad place to guess. So if you would, John Lights will be back up. Thank you all.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, please order what you need. Our goal is to make the right number of sandwiches, to make a quality sandwich. You've helped us the last couple of years because we got focused on it. I'd like to think that we're improving the ham sandwich and making it as good as humanly possible for you in the numbers we got to make them. So order the right number, and Rich and his lovely team are going to make it work. You all know that the only reason we let him do this is because his wife is an airline captain. So that's why he's here. He's like the mess captain. One thing real quick before you go to questions. If you didn't know, we have Royal Air Force cadets that come in to help with security, right? You knew that. Guess how many years they've been coming? 20 years of RAF cadets coming to Sun and Fun. How awesome is that? All right. The only thing between you and that ham sandwich are your questions. So please, go ahead and ask. What may I answer? Oh, I knew it. Dave, our Mr. Sun and Fun Radio. If you didn't know, the radio station reaches an area we won't say because the FCC might question how much we turn the wattage up during flying, but what they do, no more than 10, that's right. That's our story and we're sticking to it. But what you don't realize is Dave started last year streaming live. You gonna still do that again, Dave? All right. 6 years. Well, last year we started getting a lot more interest around the world. So there was a lot of questions coming to us from Italy and Australia and Asia. I mean, it was really, really good. So, Chairman Award nominations. Thank you. We need those desperately to get the trophies made. So if you think of anyone that's been here working for many years, has done a phenomenal job, please, please, please get those into Laura so we can get those into Bob and the board and get those approved for recognition during the fly-in for Chairman's Awards. That's crucial. We want to recognize those that work the hardest. Yes, ma'am. Oh, they come into Christine. I'm sorry. Thank you. I apologize. All right. Any other relevant questions? All right, I don't see any hands. I think everybody's happy. I'm happy. Are you happy? Let's have lunch and let's have fun. Woo!